Greetings, fellow men. Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again, and today I want to give you another brief update on the situation in Germany for all you guys who are interested in that, because as you can imagine, since Friday morning when the negotiators of the Social Democrats and the Christian Conservative parties declared that they have agreed on a document that lays the foundation for a new coalition contract, a lot of stuff has changed. So they make it appear now as if a new grand coalition is not so certain at all, but I still think that this will be the case, and I will tell you why at the end of the video. But first now, what happened in the last days? Now, I already told you that many people in the Social Democratic Party especially are very much opposed to this new grand coalition, because they are part of the coalition and they can therefore not really criticize Angela Merkel and sharpen their social democratic profile for the next elections. That means every time they are in a grand coalition with Merkel, they lose more and more votes. And it is especially the left wing of the Social Democratic Party and the very powerful youth organization, the Young Socialists, that are fighting this tooth and nail now. Already the SPD in one of our federal states, in Sachsen-Anhalt, has taken a vote on whether or not they want a new grand coalition, and the outcome was that a thin majority rejects a new grand coalition with Merkel. And several other federal states have declared that they're also opposed to it actually. Next weekend there will be a federal convention of the Social Democratic Party where they actually have to vote on whether or not to proceed with the coalition talks. So I think that there are a lot of things going on at the same time here. First of all, the Social Democrats want to use this window of opportunity they have now to play hardball with Angela Merkel. They want to make it look like that they don't really need to say yes and Angela Merkel is out of options. So in this way they want to make sure that they will get the maximum positions of their own into the coalition contract. They're playing hard to get basically. The other thing that is going on in my point of view is that some individuals in the Social Democratic Party are already planning ahead for the time when this grand coalition either has fulfilled its 4 years of term or it will crash and burn before that, after 2 years for example. So they want to go publicly on record now and say this is all bullshit, we need more migrants, we need more welfare spending, we need more money for women, and we need of course higher taxes for these evil productive white men. And we don't agree with this compromise with the evil conservatives. Merkel is of course still a conservative from their political point of view, believe it or not. And now I want to talk about the role that Martin Schulz, the chairman of the Social Democratic Party, is playing in this whole affair. Now he told the German state media, the ZDF TV channel, that this maximum number of new migrants of around 200,000 per year that the members of Angela Merkel's party want to tell us was agreed upon in the discussions and written down in the agreement document on Friday is just a rough estimate. And when you look at the actual wording of the document, it actually says that based on our experiences from the last 20 years concerning migrant streams, we expect that the number of all these migrants will not be greater than 200,000, and the following measures will be implemented in order to assure that ... But it doesn't say how they will actually enforce it. They just say that they aim at that number. But Martin Schulz said in this TV interview that if more come to Germany, of course we will accept more. So that means if 5 million come, of course we let 5 million in. So I think in this special case we have actually to be thankful to Mr. Martin Schulz for being so honest to the German voter and taxpayer in advance. If he would just have been quiet, they would have all believed this lie and they wouldn't actually have read the actual wording of the document. And this intentionally vague wording and phrasing of this segment is even more explosive in nature when you consider that the European Union wants actually to change the Dublin Agreement. That means Until now, the country where these migrants first set foot on European territory, mostly Greece or Spain or Italy, would be responsible for the registration and also for the asylum application. But now they want to change the system so that the country in which this migrant already has relatives will be responsible. And as there are already so many quote unquote anchor people in Germany, they will actually all come to Germany. So if any family member of a person who is already in Germany will arrive at the outer European borders, he will automatically be sent to Germany and we are responsible then. And this insanity has to be seen in the context of this coalition compromise paper that we have since last Friday, and the intentionally vague worded phrase that I just mentioned. So what Merkel and Schulz are actually planning is to bring millions and millions of new migrants into Germany, while they tell the German public now that they want to limit it to 180 or 220,000 a year, which would still be the equivalent of a large German city per year. Another thing I want to mention is that there is a new poll according to which the majority of the German people is actually not very fond of a new big coalition. Surprise, surprise. So it is not looking good for Angela Merkel all in all, but I told you before, I still think we will have a grand coalition, and the reason is just that there is no other alternative. Nobody wants to have a coalition with the AfD, so unless there is a rebellion in Angela Merkel's party and someone like Kurz from Austria would come along and actually reform this rotten party, which I highly doubt, there is really nothing that could be done. Re-elections would have the result that the AfD would have 1 or 2% more, which would not change anything fundamentally. And also never underestimate the addiction of these politicians to public offices and to all the money and all the privilege that goes along with it. They don't want to be in the opposition. The SPD is acting now as if they don't want to be in government, but in fact they are addicted to it. It's power, it's influence, you can sort out all your friends with government positions. It is exactly what they want. They just stage this little play now for the public so that they can have some advantages in the coming years, as I've hinted at. And we should really not be surprised that they change their opinion twice a day. They have a stellar track record of doing that in the past. Like Schulz was running on a platform that said we will not have another grand coalition with Merkel, then he wants to have another coalition with her, and then one day after signing the agreement to make the path clear for actual negotiations, he said, oh no, that's not what we agreed on. Big surprise, Social Democrats lie. Shocking. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Servus, Kameraden.